Hey friends, it's Joe from DadBod. Today it is day 22 of the program, start of week 4, and we are going to walk a 5K, which is going to be an awesome achievement for all of us. It is around 73 degrees in Tokyo, so it's getting hotter as we're approaching July, and it's around 5:06 in the morning. So let's get to work. I'll pop you up on my head, as always. Alright. Oh, let me flip open my phone really quick. Okay. Map my run. And start our workout. Beautiful. Oh, it's getting hotter. I'm not a fan of heat. We do all the hard things in this program. Running in the summer sucks, running in the rain sucks, running in the cold sucks. Running kind of sucks. Hope you're doing well, friends. So yesterday I started making some fun progress. I was able to, I haven't finished the edit yet, but I started editing a half marathon I did, must have been 5 weeks ago now, near the base of Mount Fuji at a place called Lake Yamanakako, and it is beautiful. Like, the video turned out way better than I thought it would. It's also 58 gigabytes, so hopefully YouTube will receive my offering. And it is, I don't know, 2 hours and 50 minutes long, so I might have to break it into two. Oh, it's OG-san. Good morning, OG-san. But today we're going to be doing a 5K, which is 3.1 miles. It's a good lengthy walk, so hope you enjoy yourselves. It should take us about 45 minutes if we average 15-minute miles, which is kind of where my walking pace is. Like always, make sure you tuck that tailbone, pull in your core, tighten your lower back a little bit, have a nice lean, not an extreme lean. And feel free to Google chi running if you want to learn a little bit more about that runner's form, or watch the running form video again that I'm assuming I've made by now. Sumimasen. Gomennasai. Arigato. Alright. It's gonna be a nice one. Oh, there's lots on my mind today. Lots of good things going on. 4:30 a.m. on a Monday is a pretty cool feel. It's hard to get to the point where you can do that consistently. And I think I've finally found that threshold. So I've locked in this routine for a while. Me and my wife have this new, I don't know what I would call it. Kind of like a goal tracker board. So I'm a big fan of like sticky magnetic whiteboards. I used them in the US. You can buy them on Amazon. Maybe if I remember, I'll put a link in the description for this one. But I have 4 of them upstairs in different areas, because I like to put goals and tasks in front of me so that I can see them and work towards them, and it helps prune off distraction and non-value added time. Doesn't mean you can't, like, that you can be productive indefinitely. It just helps you see what you're trying to do and make small incremental steps forward. And one of the things that me and my wife started doing is she has a lot of depression and anxiety, which you may also struggle with. It's clinical for her. She's had it her whole life. It's a difficult, beautiful piece of who she is. But there's a lot of buildup and a lot of challenge for her to show up and exercise, and some of that comes from issues with the sense of self-worth. So a lot of the things I speak over you come from the things I speak over my wife, that you're worth it. We need to take this time for ourselves because we can't care for other people if we don't care for ourselves first. Like, that's everyday conversations with my wife and her neurodivergent brain. So anyway, we realized that like checking the box every day of exercise isn't the right goal for her. That'll come, but there's actually a lot of other ways that you can pursue holistic health little by little. Our main fountain of wisdom in this space is Andrew Huberman. Again, if I actually listen to this edit, maybe I will post a link in the description below. There's a great whiteboard video of him. It's him on a podcast, I think, with Joe Rogan, but then his group like made an animated whiteboard video of the discussion in which he talks about the optimal morning routine, and he tracks through like how your dopamine levels throughout the day fluctuate, how your melatonin and serotonin, like all the brain chemistry, he's a neuroscientist, just how all the pieces interact with the choices we make, whether those choices include taking an ice bath or cold shower or scrolling on our phone late at night. A lot of these small conscious choices, but still hard choices, can drastically impact our mental health, our sleep cycle, our sense of depression. What I like about him is he doesn't have the audacity to say, hey, if you do these 3 things, your depression's cured. Because there are some people that tend that way. Like, there's a place for pharmaceuticals and proper diagnosis. But there's additional things you could do to also supplement. Just like there's things you could do before pharmaceuticals, depending on your care pathway and the level of mental divergence you have, right? You can approach it from both sides. But what me and my wife laid out on one of these magnetic whiteboards is the ability to focus on one small thing at a time. So in Andrew's video, he discusses like the value of waking up a little bit early. He discusses the value of getting off of screens near the end of the day, particularly. He discusses the value of cold showers clinically. He discusses the value of getting outside as quickly as possible and getting around 10 to 20 minutes of direct sunlight, and how that locks your brain's sleep schedule for the morning, as opposed to rolling over in your bed, flipping open your phone and scrolling, thinking about all the gloom and doom of your day, and then getting yourself out and then feeling groggy all day. So there's these things. Another thing we can do is exercise. So, I'm a little winded. 1 second. It's gonna be really funny when I try to talk and run. I've done it before, it's hard. Well, we've done it on the fartlegs. It's basically hard every time. But what happens with Felicia is she can often get overwhelmed trying to do everything all at once. 1 second. Ohayou gozaimasu. So what happens is she can get overwhelmed trying to turn every knob all at once. So then she can never lock a rhythm or a routine from it, because she'll feel the pressure to try everything, and then one day like one thing will drop off and the next will drop off, and then feelings of inadequacy scooch in, and like there's always just this build up towards not being worth it, not being able to do it. So it was really good. We had a lot of open discussions about it and trying to figure out, well, what can we do to focus on one thing at a time and build towards being able to do all the things, like to truly have a rhythm that locks in, that we could actually entrain some of these behaviors that are gonna impact and regulate levels of dopamine and your depression and your feelings of worth. And what we landed on was a Gantt chart. So a Gantt chart, it's a modified Gantt chart. You know, I'm hoping by this point I've made it into a digital PDF and you can just do it yourself. It'll be self-explanatory. But basically a Gantt chart, let's say you're trying to build a boat because you really like boats for some reason. It's engineering time, right? So building a boat might have a couple steps. You have to source some specific lumber that maybe is better for boats than others. You might need to prepare your shop for storing that lumber. You might even have to build a couple jigs or fixtures in order to be able to cut the wood the right way to make a boat. And then you might have to pull all the pieces of the boat together. So then eventually you might frame the boat, and you might paint the boat. There's like 6 steps. A Gantt chart will stack all the steps 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 vertically in one column. And then the right row, the right top row, it's really fun trying to explain a spreadsheet basically. The right top row will have dates. Typically it's in 1-day increments, 1-week increments, depending on the length of the project. And then you're gonna guess how long each activity takes, and then you will stair step blocks from the first task to the last task. Now these Gantt charts, if you're working on, say, a robotic surgical system, like I have, they can be thousands of rows long with multiple paths that are dependent on one another. And that's when you start using a tool like Microsoft Project. I'm gonna do a couple hip hinges really quick. Oh, yeah, that feels good. 1, 2, 3, let's go to 5, 4. Just felt like I needed to gather myself. Yep, that's much better. So you might have multiple dependencies on a Gantt chart. But the cool thing about a Gantt chart is you can visually see the ladder over time. And sometimes tasks will overlap a little bit. And when we think about learning something new, the science has lots of opinions on this depending on the study, but let's just say it takes about 20 days of consistency to lock a habit. Some say it's 30, some say it's 31. Like, I'm sure there's an actual amount, but if you come from a Western context, you probably think in tens, because tens are easy numbers. So 20 is a good amount. And what we wanted to do was organize all those good things that Andrew Huberman talks about from an optimal morning routine. And we slotted in a couple other things like working out every day, going for a walk every day, which will probably turn more into a step goal, just to have more active movement throughout the day, as well as consistency in like prayer or devotional life. And we started stacking those. I think we made 10 items we're targeting, with the first being morning wake-ups. And then the first square was just doing it 10 times. So kind of edging into a routine, but not successful. Well, not successful is the right word. Edging into a routine, but not completing the routine. It's not locked, right? And then after you do 10, you can jump up a level and do 10 of the next thing while holding the bottom thing consistent, getting another 10, which puts you at 20. So first we started with only measuring whether or not me and Felicia were waking up at our target. My target was 4:30 a.m. Her target's 6. We gave her a little bit more grace because it's a big challenge for her. It's a big jump from what's normative for her. We got our 10 days. It was a fight. And then when we stepped up to the next thing, we really wanted to target sunshine, because sunshine in the morning is going to lock when you get tired later in the day. It's going to lock your ability to wake up consistently the next day. So trying to get 10 minutes of direct sunlight while we drink our pre-workout. And we got a full 10 days of that, 10 days of the wake-ups. And then we moved on to the next block. And the next block we're working on right now is cold showers, which are normal for me because I've been doing them for, hey, 3 months now. Whew. Free pass, let's go. Welcome to our river, everybody. It's been a while since we've been here. All right. And actually, because I have the luxury of a bathroom, I'm gonna use the bathroom really quick. So we'll be right back. Okay, so, oh geez, son's over there smoking. I guess it's Riverview. But anyway, so we started stacking up, right? We did our morning wake ups, and then we worked on to the morning sunshine, and we're just breaking into shower. And what's cool about showers, we're on our third thing, so it gives you a momentum of like, I am acquiring new ability. It's like a skill tree. I'm building up towards being able to work out every day, for instance, building up towards different pieces of longevity. And every day there's a tactile piece of it. So because it's a magnetic whiteboard, we drew everything on a whiteboard, but we're tracking with a magnet. And there's a lot of value to fitness trackers and things on your phone. I've used them before, they're great. But I find that sometimes if I do things off phone, off of a spreadsheet that I have to touch, it just provides me like better entrainment, and it's another reason not to look at a screen, whereas everything in our life pulls us towards a screen, whether it's email for work, Instagram, bills, Netflix, everything's pulling us out of our life into that digital space, which is the wonderful way we get to connect, right? You're likely watching this on YouTube unless I've made an app by now, which I've thought about. Just being another app, right? Another app with another notification trying to steal your focus, as they all do. Turn your notifications off, it'll change your life. Eventually I want to make a digital class on digital well-being and just how to put things like social media in their proper place in our life. I'm not a proponent of withdrawing from everything, but there are certain things we need to do to give ourselves like stopping cues and to know when to move on to the next thing. Anyway, back to this tracker journey, because I think it's really cool. It's been really helping. Like, there's been a lot of gradual shift in Felicia and in me. I will be honest, 4:30 a.m. is really hard for me. I've always been a morning person, but this is the farthest up I've edged it. I have the luxury that in Japan they're not on daylight savings time, so like the sun's actually kind of up at 4:30, which there's a part of me, I think it's a pride thing, so we could be honest with ourselves, right? It's an ego trip. I like the achievement of waking up before the sun and getting out. Like, it just makes me feel like I got my life put together, even though everything can fall apart by the evening. It gives me that superficial feeling that I've done something. Here we go, keep it up. Y'all are doing great, by the way. It's almost 1 mile. So we're about a third of the way into this thing. If you're feeling discomfort in your lower back, upper back, legs, it is okay to pause for a minute and just roll it out. Well, not on a foam roller. I'm assuming you're not at home. You might be on a treadmill though. You know, but do a couple hip hinges, get yourself right, find your form so that you don't keep injuring. But I will say, especially as we start tacking on distance, even with perfect form, you're going to be pushing your body. So I need you to be very mature about where you're at, where you're pushing to, and what is safe for you and your body. There is nothing wrong with a walk jog in order to hit the distance. I have done it many times training up for half marathon. We'll see with this program. I'm aspirationally hoping that when we start doing running next week, I can actually do the full distance each time and build up. But some of you might need to repeat block 1 and be patient with yourself. There's nothing wrong with that. Taking 20 weeks to train up to a half marathon is beautiful. That's showing maturity, wisdom, getting your body strong, being able to turn on the right muscles to have a gradual forward lean, making sure that the impact is not wrecking knees, feet, and back. Maybe you're gonna hop on your bike and bike double the distance as opposed to walk or run, just to start getting mileage on your body, but in a low impact way. All those modifications totally make sense, right? Take these workouts as scaffolding and apply them based on how you're doing, right? I don't know how I derailed myself there. It's good advice. Man, we're week 4. This is fun. So anyway, the tracker, right? The tracker that may likely be a digital product you can buy someday that you can print, or maybe it'll be an actual magnetic poster, because I found out you can do some magnetic prints, although I think those are only available in the US, which kind of irks me. I'm frustrated with my drop shipper, particularly their rates. But I get it, because they take all the liability and they have all the material costs and they need to turn a profit. And then I have to charge on top of that. And they have scale. Anyone in the world, quote unquote, could get one of our products. But then some of the things they do where it's like, oh, this is US only. That bugs me. It's like, but our community's not US only. Can't you make it everywhere? For our friends in Australia and the UK. But yeah, I'm thinking about turning this tracker into a real thing. I share all the I'm thinking abouts in these videos because I already have, well, at this point now, 3 or 4 weeks of content that are unedited. They're organized and named on my computer. But right now success looks like recording all the videos and then going back, editing and posting and releasing the complete journey, right? So I never know by the time this stuff goes out what ideas I follow through on, which ones I don't. I do know that I'm very close to following through on the half marathon idea I shared a couple weeks ago, of like actually sharing that Yamanakako video. And it was inspiring for me to watch it. If you haven't watched it, go check it out, assuming I've put it out. It is really cool. Like, it is the most aesthetic marathon I've ever run in my life. So aesthetic, in fact, that when I was watching the video and looking at how beautiful it was, I was like, this is so beautiful, but it's not exactly what my eyes saw color-wise, because everything coming out of a camera is slightly different. So like, I've been learning what's called color grading, which is a methodology you can use to take a video input from a camera and adjust pieces of the color so that the white looks correct, the shadows are deep enough, the colors are vibrant. So it's a new tool I'm learning how to use, a skill I didn't have previously. But when I looked at this video, I was like, if we're gonna put this out, it's gotta be real. And I always tend towards realism in my editing, if possible. We should be at a mile by now. Let's see. 1.22. So when we hit, well, because we got to go to our quiet spot to reflect. So when we hit maybe 1.65, I'll turn back, just over half. For you, I'll call out the halfway point in case you're doing true line running. We're doing great though, over a mile and a half. Good strong pace. I wonder why it didn't give me a notification though. Let me see. My volume was down. And right now we're holding around a 20-minute mile pace. Although that's including a bathroom break, so it's probably a 15-minute mile. Well, I don't know. No, it is about a 20-minute mile pace because we've been going for 15. I don't know. We're walking. Pace isn't important right now, it's distance. But what's great is in 4 weeks, you have trained strength, mobility, endurance to be able to walk a 5K, which is something you might not have been able to do at the start of this program. Like, that's a new skill. That's a new achievement. And I wanted you to have a quick win 4 weeks into the program that's measurable. And maybe you had the ability lurking, but today you get to actually complete that and feel that progress. By the way, if you look at that city over there, that's Tamagawa, with just past the cranes. Eventually, if you look at that blue bridge up there, those are gonna be huge targets for us on this journey. If we go to the bridge, that's about 3.5 miles from where we start, roughly. If we cross the bridge and then run towards the city along the river on the other side, that gets you up towards 5 miles. So by the time we are finishing this program, when you're doing your longest runs, you will run all the way down, cross that bridge, along the city, and I think like the 6th mile mark will be right over there-ish, right across the street, maybe a little farther back. But it's just to give you an idea of scale. Like, you are going to be able to traverse all of this area. You're going to build up the consistency, the strength to do it safely. You're going to learn how to push yourself, but not too much. I'm speaking these things over you in case you also have a fragile mind or a mind that can't value itself in the journey you're on. You're doing wonderful, and you need to be proud of yourself and where you're at, because you're making those active steps. And also, it's not too late to get a friend, so find an accountability bud who can do the journey with you. Whether it's in real life bud that wakes up with you, exercises with you, spouse, digital buddy, make a friend in our Discord. Lots of options. Also, that bridge is deceptive because of the train. There's actually a bridge in front of the bridge. So you think you're almost there, but it's actually a train bridge. The other one is farther out. It's mean. It's an angry bridge. Sure is beautiful. We're lucky to be out here together. Keep doing your best, y'all. That's all we can do. It's funny if I talk about my personal journey a little bit. This whole thing, this whole 16-week thing, like, it's a mental battle for me every day. So I might not look it. I might be somehow emoting confidence when I'm filming a strength workout, going for a run or a walk. But the conscious choice to wake up, get everything set up, drink my pre-workout, and start and record and talk and be present and trust that what I'm doing is helpful and not too demotivating. It's great. Like, I have a whole bunch of doubts that I'm gonna film 16 weeks worth of the program. People will do the first week with me and be like, I don't like this guy. That's a real thought that I have to work through. And it's not that I want to be liked. I want to provide a program that's valuable, but I want to be authentic. And my kids are crawling all over me. and I'm exhausted and I'm tired. And when I lift my arms up doing a curl press, I don't like how my stomach looks on a camera. So then I feel insecure and then I'm quiet and I look away from the camera. It's like little things like that, right? And you'll notice it as you go through the program. But I want to be out here for you. I want to support you the best I can. We're close to the turnaround. 151. So if you are doing, shoot, no, you got to go to 155 because a 5K doesn't perfectly morning words, doesn't perfectly compute, why can't I find the word I'm trying to say? Convert. Ha! So 5K doesn't perfectly convert. Basically it's going to be 3.107. So you got to go to 1.55. Well, you got to go to 1.550035, but your app won't have that level of resolution. Engineers are precise. So you could turn it around just about now-ish if you're doing a perfect half. I'm going to try to end us at the river, so I'm going to tack on an extra 0.1 that way, which is an extra 0.2 this way. And that should end us at the little squatty rock, I think. So I'll go to 0.65. But you're doing great. You're halfway. It's a lot, right? The hard part about these Mondays is the time sure stacks up. Eventually it's going to be like we're out here together for an hour and 40 minutes. We'll build to that. That might be unfathomable for you to be out on your body that long, actively moving, actively breathing and sweating. You might be like, how do I have the energy? How do I not go to the bathroom? Well, I run parks so that I have access to bathrooms along the way. You might not have that luxury. There are things you can do. If you're looking for some wisdom from the wonderful show Bluey, sometimes you do have to take a bush wee. We've all done it. Have we? Maybe not all of us. Might be a little bit more common for the dad bods as opposed to the mom bods. I think moms have a little bit more discretion. Yeah, just a little bit. Feel free to comment. Maybe don't comment below. Maybe we could leave that out of the public square on who bush wees and who doesn't. All right, 164. All right, friends, look at that. We've gone over 1.5 miles. And again, we're working towards that bridge, crossing the river towards Tamagawa. Is that a bear? No, it's a dog. Sorry, it's a big black dog. There's not big dogs in Japan, really, because they're expensive to feed and everyone lives in small boxes. So why would you do that to a bear dog? All right, well, friends, we're doing good. We're still out here. Now all we have to do is repeat what we did. See, it's easy. We've already done it once. What's the problem in doing it twice? These are all the lies I tell myself, okay? And it's funny, I did a half marathon 5 weeks ago or whatever, and then I'm over here doubting, like, can I safely walk this extra 1.5 miles back home? It's like, yes, stupid, you can. Just go out and do it. Keep showing up for yourself. And it's like, what are you gonna do if you stop right now? You're in the middle of nowhere, Japan. Who's gonna get you? You don't have any money, so you can't take a taxi home. Are you gonna really call your wife and have her wake up your 3 kids and load them in the car to come and get you? No. Walk your sad body home. I've had that conversation a lot with myself over the years because I'm a morning running person. It's just like what works for me. But it's always on the, I don't do loop running. I don't run bigger and bigger loops. I like to run the same path and edge it farther and edge back. And this is where the ego shows up, is on that little bump out. It's where the ego and like the doubter, they both fight right there. One of the sticky thoughts that shows up in that negotiation between, are we going to actually edge this thing farther, is, let's do a body check. Is it safe to keep going? Remember, we got to go all the way back, and whatever extra we add, like, we're consciously making this more challenging. Is your wife gonna have to come pick you up, Joe? And these conversations become a lot more severe when it's torrential downpour and it's raining, when we're running on snow and ice. What happens if you slip and break your ankle, Joe? I've learned how to run on ice. Maybe that's a video tutorial I'll make in the future. It's pretty simple, really. You keep your feet under your body so that if it slips with you moving forward as opposed to you kicking backwards. So you just pull your gait in. There are ways to run on wet things and slippery things. But slips happen. I've fallen before. Typically I fall when it's black ice and I'm trying to hit a corner like that full speed, and I forget that there's like half a foot of snow with black ice under it, and then I just fly. It's actually quite an incredible feeling, as long as you hit the snow the right way. You can definitely hit the wrong way. We're gonna do a couple hinges again just to keep myself right. Yeah, that feels good and uncomfy. Yesterday I tried to record a Beat Saber workout because I was doing my bonus movement, right? There's a new map pack out for Queen. It's a long map pack. I think there's like 10 or 12 songs on it. It was challenging. I was so proud of myself. I was like, I'm gonna post my first time working through this map pack. This is gonna be so fun. And I realized I had taken the headset off for just a second to readjust it for sweat. And during that point, the recording stopped. It didn't restart. So I recorded a full, I think 10 minutes of Beat Saber, which is not nearly as much as an accomplishment as what I was able to play. And some of the songs for first shot I did really good. Some of them I definitely got wrecked on a couple parts. But I just kind of looked at them, I was like, God, why is it so hard? All the things I took for granted when I was doing somebody else's program. It's fun, but we'll get it. I mean, we're already on week 4, so we're a quarter of the way through this. Not that I'm in a hurry to be done hanging out with you, but it will be a nice accomplishment to not necessarily have to record my workouts anymore. My plan is to get the 16-week program out there and then try to live stream runs and live stream workouts so people can also pop in and connect on Twitch or TikTok and be encouraged that way. Whew. One cool thing we did as a family, we came out, that was gross, piece of poop with a bunch of flies on it. Thought it was a flower at first, definitely not a flower, it's yucky. Way back over there, there's a huge park along the river, and we went out there as a family, and they had it was like a summer festival similar to the US. But what was nice is it was, I don't know if it was just the day they picked or the hour, it was like completely not crowded at all, which was amazing. So basically I would give the kids, I don't know, 1,000 yen, which is 10 bucks. Breathing. They would go and buy some little magic chips that they could use for like obstacle course run races, mirror maze, giant slide. They even had one of those bungee jump things where they put it around your waist and you hop in a bungee. So they they had all that set up for them. And every time they'd find me and get money, I'd let them run off, and that would buy me about 20 minutes. And I am a sucker for festivals, particularly like food trucks. And I made a conscious choice that day that I was going to be a fast-moving dumpster because I like that. So, as long as you're self-aware when you're making poor choices.
Distance 2 miles.
2 miles?
40 minutes and 58 seconds. Split pace 19 minutes 56 seconds.
Hey, 19-minute pace, that's awesome. So if we pretend that's a 20-minute pace and you're gonna go 13.1 miles, 10 times 20 is gonna be 200. Plus 3 is gonna be another 60. So you're gonna go 260 minutes divided by 60. That's gonna be 4. So you're looking at 4 hours and 20 minutes or so. That's not bad. 4 hours, you could walk a half marathon at this present pace in 4 hours and 20 minutes. Is that correct? Yeah, because it's 20. I just moved to 0. My mental math skills are super weak, so feel free to provide the proper calculations in the comments. It's always good to have someone check your numbers. Feeling it now. I like have to keep actively engaging different muscle groups, flexing a little bit. Sometimes running's a little bit easier because I'm impatient. We've talked about this, right? So at least I can get it done a little faster. But we're gonna hit a threshold where we want to be done and it's too early to be impatient. That's the hard part. That's the tension. Where I start talking through it with you that we are gonna run this mile in 12 minutes, not 3 minutes. Which means we're gonna be here together. Which means we're gonna slow down our pace. It's not time for that shenanigans. But anyway, festival, food, right? Food trucks in Japan are fantastic. And I had a very good time. There was a burger truck. I don't like that they put mayonnaise and ketchup and mustard on burgers. I'm a barbecue sauce guy. Personal preference, sorry. But some of y'all are like, will you shut up about food? We're exercising right now. I don't know, it helps me dissociate from my momentary troubles. So they had like a nice cheeseburger. So I bought that and I was in the mindset of like, oh, I'm gonna try every one of these trucks and I'm gonna share it with Felicia. See, then you get to sample everything, but you don't take on the full load of your poor decisions. So I ate half a burger, dropped it off with my wife. Then I went over to the yakisoba place. Yakisoba is a delight. Okay, they take like a flat iron griddle and they throw some soba noodles, which are similar to ramen noodles, and they stir fry those in oil, in a salty soy sauce flavored sauce. I think it's just called salsa. I don't even know what it's based off of. It's delicious. Caramelizes them noodles, toss in some cabbage and some egg. I think mine had chicken or pork in it. Probably pork. It's so good. And I ate over half of that. I edged towards 2/3, brought it over to Felicia. It turns out my daughter Emiko had totally stolen that burger from my wife, so she didn't get anything from the burger. She did enjoy the yakisoba, which was wonderful. We're gonna keep talking about food. I think it's a good way to distract you. So from there, where'd we go next? What was the next? I'm trying to visualize all the carts and how they were laid out. Oh, we did do there was a Taiwanese food cart. Taiwanese food is not something I had in the US pretty much ever. Some of that food is spicy. It's amazing. So they had these thinly hammered pieces of chicken with breading, but they have this spice in them that is not only hot, and I think this is purposeful. I don't know if it's one pepper, if they mix pepper. I don't know how it works. Someone can explain Taiwanese cuisine to me. Whew. Getting winded. That's a good workout. but it had this spicy pepper flake kind of action going on it that was lightning hot, but then it numbs your face. It's an experience. I've had it quite a few times and I still don't know if I like it. I like the heat from it, but when my tongue and lips, it starts like numbing, I don't know, I get concerned. It doesn't feel natural. My food makes me feel like a snake bit me or something. Like I don't know why I'm losing feeling in my face. My motor coordination in my mouth, right? Like I'm being poisoned. But it's tasty until you can't taste it anymore because you're numb. But it's still burning, and you'll have the post ingestation consequences when it hits your tummy and the back end, right? There's a whole process. Y'all, we know what we're talking about, right? All right, we got that all figured out. So I had that. That was cool. They also had these little sweet potato balls. Some were purple, some were yellow. Not sure if they come from different potatoes or if they just applied different dye to the same mashed sweet potatoes. And they're about quarter size, deep fried, 4 on a stick. That was yummy. Also at the Taiwanese stall, they had French fries. I'm a sucker for French fries. I know those are absolute trash. When I'm trying to eat clean, French fries are definitely not in my eat list. And you're gonna find when you start training up, like you're gonna get more hungry. What you choose to fill that hunger with is important. We'll talk about nutrition stuff later. We're just trying to get you actively moving as the start. Otherwise, if we change everything, we'll revert and change nothing, right? So we're gonna work on fitness first. But diet choices matter as we talk through conscious poor choices. So we had these skinnier French fries. They're delicious. They had like a barbecue cheese flavor powder on them. And it's a sweeter cheese. So again, it's just different than what I'm used to on a French fry. But when you eat it, it tastes dissident, like, because it's so different than what I'm used to. Ohayou gozaimasu. So different than what I'm used to, you know? So it feels a little bit off, but I say it's dissonant because it's also really flippin' delicious. But my brain doesn't understand it because it's so different. So I'm actively stretching my back as we walk. We're doing very good, friends. So actually I think around mile 6 is over there, kind of near the Cannon building. So you're making good progress, but eventually we're gonna go much farther. Much farther. Way too much time spent together. You're gonna get sick of me pretty quick. Which is why when we're running, especially in those distances, I'll be talking and then I'll be providing you a mile of silence. We'll probably alternate just so that I can focus and get through it just like you. Whew. Okay, so what else did we have? At one point the kids got hungry, so my son picked out this rainbow cotton candy just to eat the strawberry swirl of it. That infuriates me. That put those kinds of moments, okay, they put me at an instant 10 as a parent. Even though it was $3, right? Like, it's negligible cost-wise, but it's like, really? Really, you're gonna get this whole thing of cotton candy just so you can eat the red swirl and throw the rest out and pretend that you wanted to share with other kids? No, you wanted the red swirl. And then you're gonna whine about wanting more ice cream after just having your dessert that you didn't fully eat. It's hilarious. It's terrible. Am I whining too much? I'm probably whining too much. It's a nice river. I'll have to take you out there again one day on the rocks, just like that guy. Oh, my daughter does it too with donuts. Oh, it's the worst. She will just, like, with her finger, her cute little 4-year-old finger, it's so cute and precious. It makes me so angry. She will just, like, scoop the frosting off of parts of the donut and leave the donut on the table for other people. And she'll hop. She'll go from donut A to donut B. And she'll just leave them. Or she'll just lick the top frosting off if she truly commits to the experience. And she won't bite the donut and eat it. So she'll try to work from donut frosting to donut frosting. It's like, I'm not gonna order you a donut, I'm just gonna go there and ask them for a bag of their frosting. You can have that. Crazy child. Because like normally parents, like, we poach our kids' food. It's a very normal behavior. Not always the healthiest. Because we start to eat for 1.5, eat for 2, eat for 3, depending on how many kids you have, how much you over order. Guilty, right? Like, but you can't poach that donut. If you do, like, it's highly unconscionable. Like, all the spit and gubby finger bits from under her nails, it's all layered into the topical surface of that donut. So if you bite through all that because you don't want to throw away the donut, like, oh man, that's a hard play. As I recollect, though, I've probably done it, but I probably felt so bad. And you can't yell at a kid to make them eat something that's not good for them. I don't know, maybe you can. You can tell them they're ridiculous and they can't have another one. But these are the things we do. All right. These are all the things we do to get through life. Okay, so we got Hezekiah some cotton candy. Akari wanted a rainbow snow cone. And snow cones in Japan are massive. So that was fun. So it was like huge. And then she sat down with it, threw a huge fit of not wanting to share it with her sister Emiko, who's a baby. Like, how much damage is Emiko gonna do on that? Well, realistically now a decent amount of damage, actually. Emiko's not a baby anymore, she's 2. Gotta remember, she's 2 now. She's almost a toddler. We're gonna have to start over, but that would put us at 4. That would be crazy. So, that was fun. Got snow cone that a kid doesn't want to share. Cotton candy that a kid doesn't want to eat all of. What else did we get there? There was some good stuff. Oh, there was a crepe place. I will say Japanese cuisine, they've adopted a lot of foods really well. For instance, their French bakeries are fantastic. Now, I've never lived in France. I've visited France. So sure, if you're from France and you go to Japan, you might be like, you know, like it's not French enough for you, sure. But for most normal humans, it's pretty darn good. I don't know, I think their croissants and their pain au chocolat and their like fruit stuffed pastry turnover things, I think all that stuff's delicious. So French bakeries in Japan are fantastic. But then to build on that theme, maybe it's just an infatuation with Paris. There's a lot of crepe shops in Japan. A lot of crepe food stalls and vendors. And at this park they had a little crepe cart. Now, I don't really go for the savory crepes in Japan because they tend to put hot dogs in them. I don't like hot dogs. Or they call them wieners in Japan. It's cute. Get your breathing. Still working. We're still in the work zone, friends. We're not all the way at 3.1 yet, but we're feeling it. Which is good. I picked up my pace a little bit too. So it's moving. And we got our days started. Our kids are gonna wake up soon. We gotta get home. so it could be the best it can be for them, even if they scrape the tops off of donuts and only eat the red part of the cotton candy. Gosh, the amount of food you throw away as a parent, and you try to save it and recycle it, and it's just like, meals are tough. I had no appreciation for that, but with 3 kids 6 and under with volatile food preferences, it's hard. And sure, feel free to share all your tips on how you make your kids eat everything every single time. I'm just waiting to be impressed with the miracle solution there. So anyway, I went to a crepe truck as well. Now at this point, Felicia had kind of mentioned she wasn't feeling good because it was hot. Felicia doesn't like to eat food when it's hot out. To which, like, me and my DadBod stomach are like, whatever. Like, it's hot, but there's ramen. Oh my God. Let me get some ramen. So we trailed off of the get and split mindset into Joe will get and eat mindset. So we progressed towards the what did we get? We got a crepe with whipped cream and it's mixed berries. So it had blueberries, raspberries, strawberries. It's pretty cool. A little bit of chocolate syrup. Not a fan of chocolate syrup, and honestly the whipped cream was a little too heavy. They could have went a little lighter on the whipped cream. Okay, it was just mouths of whipped cream, whereas I want the crepe and a dab of it. So if I were making my crepe, it would have been a little different, but you know, it was there, it was good. We're in food critic mode now, apparently. What else did we have? We made our way around those trucks. There's at least 10 trucks. I think we hit 7 of them. It was something absurd, where even at the end I was like, Joe, why'd you burn so much money? Actually though, I think the kids spent more on the rides and games. Those were terribly overpriced. It was like 10 bucks to do the bungee jump thing. Ducks, quack, keep it up, doing great. Where are we at? I think we're at probably 2.7, maybe less. Let's see, 2.9. Yo, you only got 0.2 miles left. That's nothing. Keep pushing. Form check, squeeze the walnut, tuck your core, flex your back, roll your shoulders back, turn on a gradual lean forward to pull your body. Power walk on through that, because in just 4 weeks from now you will run that same distance. We trained up to a 5K walk. We're going to train up to a 5K run, and we're going to do it together. It's going to be burp. Sorry, it's going to be awesome. I also have a lot of biological functions, burps and farts and all that jazz. Thus far, it's my belief that nothing's been recorded. But one of these days, something will slip. It's part of the process. I'm going to be quiet here because it's a Shinto temple for prayer. Friends, we're almost at 3 miles. We're going to 3.1 though, so don't get too happy. Well, 3.1's not that bad. "6:07 in the morning, bright start to your day." Oh, here it comes. 3 miles. Woo! Be proud of you. There's OG-san.
Total distance 3 miles.
That's what I'm talking about.
Total time 59 minutes and 52 seconds. Split pace 18 minutes 54 seconds per mile.
So yo, there's our reflection spot, but we still got 0.1 miles to go. And I got a busy morning, so we're gonna save that for a Wednesday recovery walk. All right, we'll look forward to it. Let's finish out this walk. It'll finish under that bridge or a little bit farther. That way I can get home, shower, and support Felicia in kid breakfast, school transition. It'll be great. It'll be so fun. Love those stairs. Terrible. Ohayou gozaimasu. Alright, 3.05. You're doing great. Doing great, y'all. So proud of you. Don't give up, okay? You're worth it. Put that on a t-shirt. The sumo t-shirt I showed Felicia, it's not done yet. She's like, Joe, that's really good. She normally doesn't validate some of the stuff I do for TikTok and YouTube. But when she saw the shirt, she was like, that's really good. She grabbed a pen, started kind of editing on it a little bit. She's like, you need more butt cheek right here, a little bit more definition. So maybe if I need a break today, a brain break, maybe I will finish the sumo strength shirt. 309. You're doing so good. 310, and it's 3.107, so we'll give it a little extra. We'll go to 3.11 just to feel good about ourselves. There you go. Pause that, hold the finish. Well done. All right. Well, friends, let me see. Great job today, but great job over the last 4 weeks now. We're at the top of week 4, right? We do the hard thing first, which is going for those long walks. But you still got strength tomorrow. We got Moose Lift 1A for the last time. Get to hang out with Shia LaBeouf. He's our favorite. He's a great motivator. And I'll see you around, friends. Have a good one.